What's up YouTube, Kristo here, and I'm back with the second part of my top 10 niche fragrance houses. The first one, 10 through 6, is already up, so check that out if you haven't yet. This one, 5 through 1, 1 being my top pick. I'm not really going to get into what I consider niche, because I kind of talked about that in the last video, so again, check that out if you haven't yet. And I say that just because some of these houses, to some people, they might not consider them niche, but to me, I do consider them that. Also, I need to give a quick apology for the title of my last video. I didn't even think about it when I uploaded it, because it kind of sat for a couple days. I intended to do this in one long video, and I forgot to mention in the title that it was a two-part series, and I think a few people were a bit upset, maybe felt a bit misled or something. But yeah, I fixed it as soon as I realized. I'm definitely not trying to trick you into watching anything. Just completely spaced out when I wrote the title up. So let's get into this here because it's going to be a long video, I know. So I'm starting with number 5 and going to my number 1 ultimate niche fragrance house. Now, number 5, there's definitely no arguing about this one. It is a niche fragrance house through and through. The very definition of niche to me, it is Serge Lutens. Serge Lutens was one of the first niche houses I was exposed to. It was one of the first niche fragrances that I ever bought, probably in my first 4 or 5 niche perfumes. And it's become a pretty well-known name. They're quite easily to access. You can buy them online, you can buy them in a lot of department stores, you can buy them in some Sephoras, you can even get them from gray market sites, and basically I guarantee if you look on Facebook in the perfume groups, there's a bottle of Serge Lutens being sold at any time, any point in time. Like, they're just everywhere, which is kind of good, but overall, you know, there are some downsides. But my problem with them, I believe Serge Lutens scored a little bit higher on my first top 10 niche fragrance lists. The reason it's fallen a bit is because they seem to be turning a lot of their best fragrances into non-export, which means they're still making them, but they're just not easily accessible. And the newer fragrances that they've been releasing, in my opinion, are just not as good as the ones that they're taking away. That said, though, there are still some really great scents that are in the regular line, in the rectangular bottles. Dame Blonde, really nice, soft, smooth, minimal leather or suede fragrance. Really nice, just so smooth, a little bit of sweetness in there as well. Really nice, I enjoy it a lot. Santal Majuscule, I don't know why this doesn't get more attention. It's creamy sandalwood with coffee and rose. It doesn't really get mentioned in the rose or coffee department either. It's totally overlooked. I think there's a lot of people that would really enjoy it if they were more aware of it. Serge Noir, one of my fall favorites. It's a kind of sour, acrid clove with some patchouli and incense. Un Bois Vanille, really nice. I'm not a big vanilla guy, but I enjoy Un Bois Vanille quite a lot. A la Nuit just blew my mind when I tried. Honestly, I tried a lot of Serge Lutens. A la Nuit never really popped up on my radar. I didn't really hear it talked up much. Finally tried it and just like, wow, I love this. It's nicknamed Death by Jasmine, because it's just jasmine, 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 just unrelenting jasmine for like 8 hours. Simagest Le Rose, a beautiful green rose fragrance, great for springtime. De Tour Noir, creamy white floral fragrance, great for summer. Ambre Sultan, one of the best mainstream or accessible amber fragrances in my opinion. It doesn't get too sweet, which a lot do, and that's really important to me. The limited edition black purse sprays, or the travel atomizers, I don't believe, as far as I understand, I don't believe they're a permanent fixture, but they have these really beautiful, tall, thin, kind of cylindrical octagonal purse sprayers, like interchangeable, and they include some of the classics like De Profundis, as well as, where are they? Iris Silver Mist, one of the most mythical fragrances in the niche world, basically. Rahat Lukum, which is a fantastic gourmand fragrance, as well as Furrow Noir, which I have to admit I'm not overly familiar with, but I did like it last time I tried it. They're available now online in a few department stores and stuff, and they're very modestly priced, considering those four are considered non-export now. Number 4, this is a really good example of why you need to constantly just test and retest and retest again and more. I kind of written this line off. I just kind of forgotten about it, had no interest in it until about a year ago when I finally went back into the boutique and got to try some, and I ended up falling really in love with a couple fragrances. Number 4 is the Hermescence line from Hermes. I didn't have much interest in this. They weren't that easy to come by in Indonesia, and just the online reviews, for the most part, with a couple aside, for the most part are kind of negative or neutral. People complaining about performance, people complaining that they're boring, people complaining that they smell generic, etc., etc. And so the few that I had tried, I kind of liked, but I was like, you know, not for the retail price. And finally, I got to sit down and try some. I got to bring some samples home, and I've been testing them a lot, and they've just shot up, like, instantly into my top 10. They're just really minimal and soft and light and transparent. Some people don't like that. Some people do. I love it. To me, that's a really big sign of, like, artistry when you're making kind of transparent, minimal fragrances with high quality ingredients. I don't know. I love it. Some great things from the line. Probably my favorite, Cuir d'Ange, beautiful kind of sour leather fragrance. To me, alongside Cuir de Russie, those are the absolute best of all of the leathers in the kind of designer exclusive world. Ones from other houses, I think, just can't even compare with them, to be honest. A Peace Marine, this is a nice surprise. I kind of written it off. I was like, ooh, a Peace Marine, no, it's aquatics. I don't really into that whole scene. People comparing it to Cartier's Declaration, I'm like, I don't really like that either. It's just kind of like cardamom overload. And I ended up trying it, thought it was kind of boring. Next time I was in, I ended up getting a bunch of samples, one of them being a Peace Marine. I just wore it to wear it one day when it was quite warm out. Just blew my socks off. I love it. I don't think it would be in my top 5, maybe top 5, definitely not 3, but I really enjoy it a lot, and I would definitely consider getting a bottle for next summertime. Iris Ukoyi, I hope that's how it's pronounced. Beautiful, again, minimal, transparent, kind of plasticky iris fragrance. I do have a bottle. I was very lucky to get a bottle in a swap with someone, and I just love it, absolutely love it. Wish I would have got it a bit earlier in the season, but whatever. Muguet Porcelain, getting panned online a lot. I think, though, it might just be more people that are disappointed with the performance for like a $300 fragrance. I can't talk much about performance. I've only ever tested it on paper. I've never, and a bit on skin, but I've never actually walked away with a sample. But I love Lily of the Valley. I love how fresh and clean it smells, and Muguet Porcelain is a beautiful Lily of the Valley fragrance. Paprika Brazil, what a weird one this is. I've kind of fallen for this. I don't know if I would buy a bottle yet, but I just love how weird and quirky it is. It's just so much spice. And it's so weird, like paprika, like thinking about smelling like paprika or green bell peppers is just kind of weird, but it's kind of cool though. I really enjoy it. Rosa Gabbana, probably the best rose citrus combination I have ever smelled. Beautiful, like really beautiful kind of, I don't know, I want to say it's casual, but for that price point, you know, maybe a bit more upper end casual, if that makes sense. Santal Messoa, this is actually the first Hermescence that I fell in love with. Now that I've been able to test it, I still think it smells amazing, but I literally cannot smell it on myself after an hour. I don't know if it's nose fatigue or if it is just really crummy longevity, but it smells great, but it doesn't last. Vetiver Tonka is kind of a really nice surprise as well. I'd kind of written this one off as just being a sweet, kind of candy gourmand fragrance. It kind of is to an extent, but the more I wear it, the more I enjoy it. To me, it is kind of like a dandy fragrance, like a really classy, well-dressed younger guy wearing this. Next house, number 3. This one is interesting. This one just kind of popped out of nowhere as well. And if I would have done this list a year ago, probably would have come in at number 2, maybe even number 1. That's how blown away I was with it. But a few things have kind of happened recently that have kind of taken it down a few pegs. Number 3 is pretty good though, to be honest. My third favorite niche fragrance house is Frederic Malle. Now, basically what happened was, this was like when I was in Indonesia, that's when Frederic Malle kind of blew up in the FragCom. And I really, really, really wanted to try a few of them. Musk Ravageur was getting really talked up on YouTube and on fragrance groups online, and I just really, really wanted to try it. Not necessarily that I thought I would like it, but I was just so intrigued. And I actually ended up having someone send me a free bottle, just like someone who followed my channel from Asia, and like, you know what, I'll send you my bottle. And I got it, I didn't like it. I let my wife try it. She said it smelled like dirty socks. I kind of got a kick out of that. And then I kind of got put off by the house. I'd always see people selling the Citrus Bigarade and the Bigarade Concentrate online. I was like, man, if people are like selling those bottles in that high volume, because it was weird. I didn't really see anything for sale except the Bigarade and sometimes Musk Ravageur. So I was like, man, that's kind of a warning sign. And then finally I got to try basically the entire line at a department store in Toronto about a year ago, a little over a year ago, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. I want all of them, especially this one and this one and this one and this one, but also this one. Just like couldn't believe how great they were. Then just kind of doing research and stuff, finding out how overpriced they are in Canada. Literally, if you buy the same fragrance in Canada as in the United States or in Europe, you're literally paying well over $100 more after conversion for the exact same bottle. So for example, if I buy Carnal Flower, the most expensive from the standard line, I'm paying almost $200 Canadian more for the exact same bottle as I would in the United States. And that's after conversion. I'm not saying it's like, you know, 600 Canadian and 400 American. I mean, the same conversion in Canada, I'm paying well over $100 more per bottle. And I don't like that. I think it's kind of price gouging, maybe kind of like giving it more appeal as a higher end fragrance, and I just find it misleading. It is a fantastic house, but I just don't like how they're doing that. Also the Estee Lauder era, I think that's kind of what's happening. Estee Lauder are pushing it as like a really high-end niche fragrance line, and as great as they are, I really don't think something like Carnal Flower at $700 Canadian after taxes for 100 ml is worth it. There are things I think that are worth it. I might not buy them because that's just silly money, but I do think there are fragrances out there at the 600 plus tax kind of bracket that do smell much higher quality than what's coming out of the Estee Lauder era Frederic Malles. Now that said, there are still some fantastic fragrances from this line. Not to make it anything sound, you know, terrible about them. I just don't like the pricing and Estee Lauder kind of stuff going on. But I think a lot of people agree with me there. A Piece Noir, of all the malls that I own, A Piece Noir is the one I don't have that I want the most. Like, I love it. I would love to get it in time for winter as well. Une Rose, beautiful, just like a single rose fragrance. There are other notes, but everything is just highlighted and pointing right at the nose for like, right at the rose for like the entire like 12 or 16 hours that this stuff lasts. Cardinal flower, you know, I hate to use it, you know, in the negative comparison because it is a beautiful fragrance, but man, $700 retail for 100 mil is just too much. I got mine for much less than that, but it is a fantastic tuberose fragrance. Dante Bra, very weird, kind of avant-garde. It's meant to smell like warm skin. Great for fall. I'm going to be cracking that out a lot in the next couple months. French Lover, I'm actually wearing today, also known as Bois d'Orange. Beautiful, wet, woody, earthy fragrance. Actually, one of the strongest, most over-the-top compliments I've ever gotten was from French Lover, the woman at the bank. Like, the bank teller just, like, went nuts. Like, I've never seen someone react to a perfume like that before. Dries Van Noten, it's good. I like it. It's not really what I would typically like in a fragrance. It's really sweet, but it's interesting, and it's kind of growing on me. I have a little sample. I'm definitely going to wear that. Geranium Pour Monsieur, another one that kind of surprised me because I'm really not big on mint. It's just a note I'm not into, and to me there's actually more mint than geranium, at least in the first couple hours, but it's fantastic, beautiful, classy summer fragrance. Iris Poudre, great, and you're getting exactly what you'd think a powdery iris fragrance. Portrait of a Lady, growing on me. I'd only really tried the Estee Lauder era samples, and I was kind of like, yeah, it's alright, maybe not as good as I thought, and then I got to spray Eugene's pre-Estee Lauder era, and I was like, yeah, that's really good, that's so much better, it's more lively, it just pops on my skin so much more. So, number 2, probably by deduction, if you've been watching my channel recently, you're probably not going to be surprised by number 2. I've been really into this house, and I have to totally give my man Eugene the, you know, credit for this. He's been really pushing it on me. Not like, I can't say in a negative way, but, you know, he kind of urged me to, you know, try some things, and he's like, I think you'd like it if you gave it a bit more chance, and you know what, I totally have changed my opinion quite a lot. Number 2 is Guerlain, you know, the ultimate niche fragrance house, and it's niche fragrance house that even has like an exclusive line. I have to say, like, the designer range, which are the more mass marketed, lower costing ones, not many of them really interest me that much. The parfums are great, which are kind of like this interesting gray area where they're not quite from the designer range, but they're not quite from the exclusive range. So I'm not really going to get into those, although, man, some of those are just out of this world amazing. The boutique in Toronto is gorgeous. It's beautiful. The style, the setup, the staff, everything is just top notch. Exactly what I want when I go in to buy, you know, a $200-300 perfume. I don't want some, you know, snooty sales assistant or sales associate that knows nothing. I want someone that knows their stuff, that has studied their stuff, that isn't going to push me and, like, you know, sneer if I walk away without picking something up. And I love it. The house has really grown on me. Some of my favorites, Bois d'Armani, just kind of totally did a 180 on this recently, and I am so excited to wear this for winter. Santal Royal, it gets kind of bad press. A lot of people don't like the kind of dry, woody thing, but I love it. I find it so dark and black, flinty, resinous, woody, of course, fantastic. Ambre Eternel, the like brother or sister, sibling to Santal Royal from the same line. It took a while to grow on me as well, but I love it. Meant to be a lot of ambergris. I actually pick up a lot of iris in it, but either way, it's fantastic. Encens Mythique, I love this. I love it, but I don't get very good performance. It just failed to make the cut for my Guerlain purchases on the discount day, but regardless, I do still really want a bottle. Rose du Desert Nacre, one of the most bold, daring fragrances I tried in a long time when I came across it last year, and still I think it's fantastic. Chypre Fatale, Gourmand Coquin, and French Kiss, all of which are being discontinued from that line. A few of them really good, quite girly, quite feminine, I admit. A few of them I would wear, but I think they're much more suited for my wife. I did actually buy her a bottle of Chypre Fatale, and she loves it. What else? Wow. Liu also being announced as discontinued, which is funny because I didn't know these were discontinued when I wrote this list. Really great early aldehydic fragrance, which was meant to compete with Chanel's number 5 way back in the day. Derby. Man, what can I say about Derby? It is like, to me, the ultimate masculine fragrance ever made. Nothing can compare to it. I have not found anything that can even touch it. A lot of people talk about Musk Ravageur. To me, Derby just annihilates it, decimates it. It's just the absolute picture-perfect description of a classy, older gentleman. I love it. I finally got a bottle, and I'm going to wear that like crazy this fall and winter. So my number 1, again, if you're familiar with my channel, Process of Elimination, probably not going to be overly surprised. And this is kind of why this is going to be my last niche, top 10 niche video, because fragrance house video, I should say, because even though like 2 through 10 have changed quite a lot, number 1 is just, it's there. It's not going anywhere. I've tried a lot of fragrances in the last year, 2 years, 3 years, and still none of them can rival Comme des Garçons. To me, it is the absolute epitome of niche perfume, even though they do actually make clothing. And a lot of people argue, well, Comme des Garçons is not niche. Like, well, okay, but they're very difficult to access. You can't really get them in the gray market. You can't get them discounted heavily. They're weird, they're strange, they're different. They are for a niche market, like a absolutely niche perfume to me. But, you know, again, that aside, it is a phenomenal house, especially when you look at the prices they're charging compared to the quality, and when you look at things that are double, triple, quadruple what they're charging. I think there's some Comme des Garçons that cost a third per mil from amouages, and there are Comme des Garçons that just humiliate and embarrass amouage, in my opinion. I don't even know where to go with this, talking about Comme des Garçons. I love them, I gush over them. I'm kind of known as being the Comme des Garçons fanboy, but I love the house, and I just, even with my taste getting higher and more expensive and pickier and snobbier, it's still the one, and it's not going anywhere. 888, I really sadly, foolishly sold my bottle, and I want it back now. Really interesting, unique, spicy fragrance. Spices galore, but not in a traditional sense. Black, that stuff is amazing. It's like, smells like road tar and licorice and incense and smoke, and it's just outrageous. EDP 1994, the one that put them on the map, the one that started it all. It's just this so strong, abrasive, loud, honey, cinnamon, clove, just so weird. 2 EDP and 2 EDT, they're very different, but they're both excellent. EDT being the brown, EDP being the silver, both fantastic, phenomenal fragrances. Sugi and Hinoki from the Monocle series, again, I don't even know what to say about them. They're just like 2 of the best in class. Odir 71, one of my all-time favorite fragrances ever made, and you can get it for 200 mil for like $120, which, again, you know, there's stuff I've tried that's, you know, $3 a mil, $4 a mil that can't even touch the quality, the brilliance of Odir 71. Standard Artec. This is my next to buy from Comme des Garçons along with Sugi. Just this weird lemony, musky cedar fragrance. It was discontinued or kind of on hiatus for a couple of years, and everybody was trying to find it, and then it got re-released again, and everyone kind of forgot about it, but I didn't. Blue Sage Rat, beautiful for spring. Lily from the Leaf series, amazing for summer. Tea, one of the weirdest tea-based fragrances I've ever smelled. Sequoia, Carnation, Avignon, Kyoto, Zagors, Dry Clean Garage, Tar, Gorilla One, Champaka Lux, Patchouli Lux, and that's like, I had to cut the list because I would just keep going on and on and on. Now, I will say, to be fair, there are a few from the house that I'm not that big on. The Energy series, really boring to me. They're just like really simple, minimal citrus. And the Play series I find quite boring as well. None from either of those lines has interested me. So yeah, it's not like I just love everything they make. I do have a few that I'm quite critical of. Amazing Green, it's not great. It's okay, but I just wanted more from Comme des Garçons. And Comme des Garçons can do excellent green, watery fragrances as well. They just didn't really do it with Amazing Green. Waiting on Black Pepper, I'm super, super excited about that. I'm hoping it's something like Wonderwood, Wonder Oud. Hopefully it's not identical. I don't think it will be. I know a few people that have bottles, but I'm still kind of waiting back to hear from them about it. But yeah, Comme des Garçons, I don't know, what can I say about it? I love Comme des Garçons. I have no problem being labeled as a Comme des Garçons fanboy. It's such a spectacular house that's so broad and so daring and unique. Their range is just amazing as well. So yeah, there you go. Again, I'd love to hear your top 3, 10, 5, whatever, niche fragrance houses. What do you think of my picks? Let us know, and I'll see you again soon.